Welcome back to Maestro Vapes. Today we are looking at the Copper Cartel clone. This guy is made by Infinite, and I gotta say, it is pretty badass. If the authentic one hits as good as this and feels as good as this or is a little bit better, I suggest everybody get an authentic because it is awesome. It's a single tube construction with a top and bottom cap, and that's it. The tubes on this thing are super thick. The voltage drop on this is very minimal. It hits super well. The engravings on it are really nice. I gotta say, Infinite is making some really nice clones as of late, and this thing is a beast. I paid about $58 for this. I want to thank Tyler, my homeboy, who hooked me up with this thing. It is phenomenal. I've seen it on other websites for about anywhere from $56 to about $79, somewhere in that range. And I'm thinking it's probably the best clone that I've vaped thus far. Infinite, kudos to you for stealing somebody else's idea. The one thing that weirds me out about this is it says limited edition, right? So the copper one from Cartel was the limited edition version, and then their stainless one and the brass ones, they were not limited edition. The copper one was. I believe the other ones just say the boss on it or something else on it, or just Cartel mod, something like that. But yeah, they all do now. So if you get a clone from Infinite, whether it's brass or stainless or copper, they all say limited edition on it. Today I'm vaping an authentic Patriot on top of this guy, and it is nice. All right, one more pull. Probably the best clone. The best clone that I've vaped besides the Copper Nemesis. I just polished both of these guys up. I've been vaping this one for about 2 or 3 weeks straight. It was getting really dirty. I can't leave my copper mods to patina. I just can't. Like, I have to polish them every 5 days or so. I'm polishing them up. Like, I just polished this thing up. I used my Twinkle. This is really good to use if you're polishing mods. I really dig this. It's a silver polish. It's not too abrasive. It doesn't scratch it all up. So it's really good. It's really good. Let's take it in close. We'll take a look at the box, what you get in it, the different tubes that you get, take it all to bits and see it all. Then we'll come back and I'll tell you a little bit about the pros and the cons of this guy. All right? One more hit and we're going in. All right. So this is the close-up of the Cartel clone. This is the Copper Cartel from Infinite, okay? I've got the box over here, and this is what the box looks like. Quickly, let's look at the mod itself. The engraving on this thing is just so nice. It is really good engraving on here. It's not super deep, but it's not like just really lightly laser etched either. I've got another one where the serial number is the same forwards as it is backwards, and I really dig that on a lot of my clones. The bottom of this thing is super nice. It looks really good. It's got a little something that you can feel when you fire that thing. I like having etching and engraving on the bottom of my buttons. It just feels so much better for me to fire it, all right? The airflow on top, there isn't really any, okay? So if you're using bottom airflow tanks, like pro tanks or stuff like that, it might be difficult for you to get proper airflow out of this. But for the RDAs that I use, it is going to be just perfect. The box. You get the box, and it's actually a pretty decent box. Like, it's pretty nice. It's got your, open on here, blah. Infinite. It's got the logo on here. Opening it up. 3 different tubes. Oh, sorry, I live in the ghetto, so that's why you hear that cop cars flying by. You've got 3 different tubes that come in this: 18350, the 18500, and the 18650, which you see here. These tubes are beefy. They are so beefy and thick. Like, look how thick this thing is. And from the factory, it's not too dirty in there. Like, I did a video where I just polished this thing up, and it didn't take a lot, and my rag didn't get super dirty. But yeah, these things are tanks. Like, it is a beefy clone. Very thick, very nice, really heavy, okay? That's what you get in the box. Let's take a look at the mod. Man, I am really digging this. There is no lock switch on this, okay? So if you're freaked out about that, then this might not be the mod for you. But the button is recessed, so you fire it, it goes in. When it's out, it's just flush. So it doesn't fire when it's sitting down anyway. Start taking this thing apart. Now, the threading and the top and bottom caps are super long. Like, the pitch on this thing to thread it in is huge. It is huge. Like, look how far that is out, like not threaded in. It is massive. Super nice, super conductive. I take my battery out of here. It's a Sony VTC4 for people who are watching my videos and build videos. This is one of my main batteries that I go to, Sony's, okay? The top cap, all right, copper. It's copper, simple and plain. It's got a Delrin insulator in here, and the pins in this are silver-plated copper. That's what they are, silver-plated copper. It's got, you know, a 2-in-1 kind of screw in. One of these adjusts to your Addy, so if you screw it in, it will screw into the, you know, depth of your 510 connection. Screw it out, you can get it flush mounted this way, and this other screw just tightens up for battery rattle. So if you got battery rattle, you dial it back. If it's too tight and you're not making all the way, tighten it in and you'll get a flush fit when you screw the top cap on. All right, pretty basic stuff there. But these tubes are awesome. Once again, the bottom of this thing, a lot of turns to get it off. A lot of threading. It goes deep into this bad boy. One more look at these tubes. Like, these tubes are thick, super thick. It is heavy, man. And this thing hits just awesome. It hits super well. Being a single tube with top and bottom caps, it is going to be one of the hardest hitting guys out there, all right? The bottom of this thing is pretty basic. Take this thing apart. I'm going to try and unscrew this guy. Got it in here pretty tight right now. That's my bad. It's going to take me a second here. Oh, she's going. Nope, can't do that yet. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, she's coming out. Now, the pin, once again, silver-plated copper. It hits so nice. The only thing better than this is going to be like full gold or full silver, you know? That's the only thing that's going to be better. I guess not gold. Full silver would be a better one. It's got a little rubber O-ring on here just to sit your battery against so it doesn't constant fire. It's got a little ventilation from right beside that O-ring. You can kind of see it in there. So if your battery does need to vent, it vents from the bottom of this guy, okay, out of the firing button. I didn't see vent holes in here, so it kind of freaked me out at first, but I just put my mouth up against this and blew through it, and there was air coming out very easily on this guy. It's got a spring in here. It would be nice if it could have magnets pushing this thing apart. Maybe I'll look into getting some. Stainless steel spring in here. And that's your button. That's where everything threads into. Pretty basic affair, but this thing is meaty. It is a really meaty son of a bitch. It is super nice. So let me get this thing threaded back together. I'll put it back and then we'll have a pull off of it. Why can I never get these started? There we go. All right, screwing that all together. Put this back. Threading is nice. Threading is really nice. I have cleaned this, but the tolerances are pretty tight. Fits together super awesome. If you are going to put an Addy on here, you're going to need to dial your Addy on and then adjust to it. Okay, so you want it to be flush right there. Just tune that in. There it is. To adjust your battery rattle, you just turn this guy out. That's it. Pretty simple, guys. Putting it together, let's have a pull off of it. A lot of turns. Haha, I'm loving it. All right, guys, that's it. Infinite Copper Cartel. Man, so that's it. The up close with the Copper Cartel from Infinite. And I gotta say, it's probably the best clone out right now. It is one of the best clones that I've ever used. The Copper Nemesis is really close to my heart. I love it a lot, and it works super flawlessly. But this thing's coming in a very close second. It is amazing. It feels good. It's beefy. It feels tough in your hand. Silver-plated copper contacts, awesome. The hit off of it is great. If you're a voltage whore like me, you're gonna love it, all right? The tubes are just so beefy, like you can't get a beefier tube. Maybe a Manhattan has a tube that's about as beefy. The button is great. It's a nice soft throw to it. It's recessed. There's no lock button. You could just put it down. It doesn't fire. It's awesome. The one weak point in this thing is the spring. If I could put magnets in this thing, it would be awesome. Just awesome. I've had the spring kind of collapse a little bit on me. I've been able to kind of stretch it back out, get it back into shape. But that's low resistance builds. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that all of my builds usually come in under 0.1 of an ohm. So they're typically around 0.04 to 0.09. So I collapse springs. I've tried to make another spring for this, but it's difficult to get the diameter right on this thing. If you remember looking at it up close, the firing button just has a little lip around it, and you have to make sure that your spring is the exact diameter of that all the way throughout, or else it's not going to work. It's going to be crunchy, or it's going to have a loose button, or you can't tighten your pin down. It's just awkward to build a spring for it. If I could put magnets in it, it would be perfect, but I haven't been able to make any type of magnet configuration that works for it. I've taken a few different magnets that I have, tried to put them in here, and either I can't tighten down the bottom connection pin enough, or there's a gap, or the button sticks out. It doesn't work. If anybody has any luck or have found any magnets that work in this switch, please send me a link, because I would love to know what they are. That would make this mod perfect. It would beat out my Nemesis easily if it had a magnetic switch. That's the only thing that's lacking in this. And for some people, it's not going to be a big deal. If you're building about above 0.2 ohm, then you're going to be fine. You're probably not going to collapse springs in it, and it's going to keep working well for you. That's the only downfall of it. And really, for most people, it's not going to be a problem. It vents well, it works well, looks good, it's heavy, feels great. That's it. That's all I gotta say. It is awesome. Do yourself a favor and pick one of these guys up. Yeah, they're between like 54 bucks and about 78 bucks, depending on what vendor you go to. You might be able to find it cheaper. Who knows? It's awesome. All right, get one. Like I always say, guys, bud out, vape up, and breathe easy. Know your limits and vape within it, and you are going to have a stellar day. I'm going to have one more pull off this guy, and then I'm going to cut on out. And I hope you guys have an awesome one, all right? Wow. Wow.